What if I told you that right now, while everyone's eyes are fixed on Lagos, Nigeria, and in Nairobi, Kenya, the real wealth creation opportunity is happening in a place where most investors are completely overlooking. An African proverb says, when the music changes, so does the dance. Dear goal-getters, in West Africa, the music has changed. And those who recognize the new rhythm stand to profit immensely. I've spent almost a decade analyzing investment opportunities in Africa, and trust me, what's happening in Burkina Faso right now is something I've not seen in almost a decade of economic analysis. But here's what's shocking and that almost nobody is talking about. In the next minutes to come, I am going to take you through the 5 top most lucrative sectors to invest in Burkina Faso. But before we do that, let me ask you this question. What if everything you thought you knew about investing in Africa was about to be turned upside down? To understand these opportunities better, we need context. Burkina Faso, a landlocked West African country, has principally been known for 3 things: gold mining, cotton production, and unfortunately, political instability. But since 2023, under Ibrahim Traoré, something remarkable has been unfolding. Despite facing serious security challenges and being landlocked, Burkina Faso's economy is projected to grow by 6% in 2025. That outpaces many coastal economies with supposedly better advantages. But I know what you might be thinking right now, right? How is that possible? How does a country that faces so many challenges suddenly become an investment magnet? The answer might surprise you. We all know that most African nations follow a familiar playbook: seek foreign loans, allow foreign companies to extract local resources, and hope some wealth trickles down. President Traoré is doing something else, something that has international investors both nervous and intrigued. If you're interested in knowing more on these things he has been doing, I invite you to watch this video that I made earlier before, alright? For the sake of this video not to be too long, I am not going to be repeating them in this video. So if you're interested, please click the link down in the comment section or in the description page, alright? Now you're probably wondering, is this just another African president making big promises? Or is something genuinely different happening here? The conventional wisdom says that without foreign investment and international loans, an African economy can't develop. But what if that conventional wisdom is exactly what has kept African economies dependent for decades? President Traoré is therefore testing a contrarian hypothesis: keeping the country's resources profit in the country and building infrastructure with domestic capital. This might actually create more sustainable growth than foreign-led development. Now, I'm not here to make political judgments. I'm here to identify wealth creation opportunities. And right now, Burkina Faso is creating extraordinary opportunities in 5 key sectors that you need to know about. But before diving in, let me ask you this. What happens when a country with over 1,000 untapped touristic sites suddenly becomes accessible through new roads, railways, and airports? A tourism gold rush. That's exactly what's happening in Burkina Faso right now. So our first point on the list here is going to be ecotourism and hospitality. Burkina Faso's untouched natural landscape and rich cultural heritage sites are drawing increasing interest from global travelers seeking authentic experiences. If you just look right here on YouTube, you're going to be noticing a number of creators here on YouTube rushing to Burkina Faso for 1 or 2 reasons, right? It could be for content, for investment opportunities, or simply for sightseeing. Whatever be the case, they are pulling people to Burkina Faso. Now, with the government prioritizing sustainable development, early movers in eco-lodges, cultural tours, and boutique hospitality stand to capture a market set to grow exponentially over the next decade. But what makes this opportunity especially potent is what's happening beneath the surface, which is our number 2, and that has to do with agribusiness and food processing. Agriculture alone employs over 80% of Burkina Faso's population. The new logistics hub means that farmers can now get their products to markets faster with less spoilage. Imagine building a tomato processing factory that connects directly to these new transport corridors. you're not just creating a business, you're solving a massive inefficiency in food supply chain. Now, you might be thinking that sounds good, but what about energy? Doesn't Burkina Faso, like many other countries, suffer with power supply? That brings us to our next opportunity, and it is a fascinating one. Renewable Energy Solutions. Burkina Faso receives one of the highest solar additions in the world. Over 3,000 hours of sunshine annually. The government is actively incentivizing solar projects. And with energy demand projected to triple by 2030, early investors in solar farms, off-grid solutions, and energy storage are positioning themselves at the forefront of an inevitable boom. But here's what fascinates me most about the transformation happening in Burkina Faso. In just a moment, I'll reveal how the country's 253 million infrastructure project is creating opportunity that almost no one is talking about. But first, let's continue our list. Fourth on our list, we've got logistics and trade facilitation. Think about this. Burkina Faso is building dry ports, smart logistics centers, and regional trade hubs, essentially becoming the Switzerland of West Africa when it comes to landlocked trade efficiency. Companies providing warehouses, transport services, and customs facilitation are seeing extraordinary growth. Some reporting revenue increases of 200% in just 18 months. That leads us to opportunity number 5, which might just be the sleeper hit of them all. Digital Services and ICT. Here's a statistic that shocked me. Mobile internet penetration in Burkina Faso grew by 43% last year alone. As digital transformation accelerates, there's enormous demand for e-commerce platforms, digital payment solutions, and tech services tailored to local needs. And with the government's emphasis on knowledge transfer from the diaspora, tech entrepreneurs bringing global expertise to local challenges are finding particularly fertile ground. Let me share something compelling for those of you in the diaspora. President Traoré has established a dedicated Diaspora Investment Bank, specifically designed to mobilize African diaspora capital and expertise. This isn't just rhetoric, it's backed by streamlined investment processes, knowledge transfer programs, and partnership frameworks that make it easier than ever for diaspora entrepreneurs to establish businesses in the country. Think about what this means. For generations, the African diaspora has sent remittances home. But remittances, while helpful, don't build wealth or create lasting change. This new model invites diaspora investors to become active participants in building industries, creating jobs, and transforming skills while capturing significant returns on their investments. Let me ask you this. What if the greatest opportunities for African diaspora isn't just in America's tech hubs or Europe's financial centers, but in participating directly in Africa's economic renaissance? What if the next chapter of wealth creation for the global bank community is being written right now in places like Burkina Faso? Now, I can hear some of you thinking, this sounds too good to be true. What about the security situation? What about political risk? These are legitimate concerns. Burkina Faso faces real security challenges, especially in its northern regions. Yes, political risk does exist in Burkina Faso, just as it does across the continent. Any serious investor must conduct thorough due diligence and understand this risk. But here's the angle from which I want us to look at this. Moments of transformation often look messy from the outside. Greatest investment returns frequently come to those who can see opportunity where others see risk. Remember when everyone thought investing in Rwanda after 1994 was crazy? Those early investors who took the risk have seen returns that most Wall Street bankers can only dream about. The question isn't whether investing in Burkina Faso carries risk. It does. The question is whether those risks are appropriately priced into the opportunity. And based on my analysis, they are not. The potential rewards far outweigh the risk for investors who enter strategically, partner locally, and focus on the 5 sectors we've discussed. If this is something that catches your interest, please just indicate investment in the comment section and I will do just that for you, alright? Now, the question is not whether Burkina Faso will transform. It already is. The question is whether you will be part of that transformation and the world creation that comes with it. For centuries, Africa's resources have enriched others while its people remained poor. What's happening in Burkina Faso right now suggests a new model might be possible. One where African resources build African wealth. That's not just an investment opportunity. It's a chance to be part of a historical inflection point. Remember that the greatest fortunes are made by those who see opportunities where others see problems. As you consider your next investment move, I invite you to look beyond the headlines and conventional wisdom. Sometimes the most promising opportunities are found precisely where others aren't looking. That said, if you liked this video, please do well to share it with as many people as possible. For as I always say, the more we empower Africans, the greater Africa will be. That said, thanks for watching this video and I'll see you on my next one.